Hi, my name is Mike, and I'm here to read a comic. And today's comic is All New Secret Romance, issue number 32, dated May 1975. Okay, so this is kind of a strange comic in that the main story is like a body positivity message, but when messages like this were given out in the 70s, they were usually done incorrectly. And this is kind of an example of it. Excuse me. So we see on the cover, we have four figures, three female, one male. The main one in the image, in the drawing, is thinking to herself, Barry said that fat is beautiful. I wish I could believe him. Now, the problem with this is that none of the three girls here look fat. So, if you're looking at this cover and you're thinking fat, okay, it's not the girls, it's this guy. Now, the guy lacks tone, but he's not fat. So, immediately you have this kind of confusing situation where seemingly this one girl who is not fat is spending her time preoccupied with what fat people are thinking. But it turns out that apparently she is the fat girl, at least in this story. So I'm going to start with the first story. And it's called Second Chance. We have, I think, Roger and Angela. And, oh yeah, okay. And it turns out that Angela is like this young woman on the move. She's a very attractive woman. She's single. She sort of wants to meet someone. But the thing is that she doesn't kind of want to date. That's the thing. So she's not sure about when it comes to a man, which man to pick and to have a loving relationship with. So Angela is sort of indecisive that way. She's with Roger. Roger kind of looks like what's his name? Michael Glazier from Starsky and Hutch. So he kind of looks like I think Starsky, the dark-haired guy, kind of a little sleazier drawn. Angela again is, so another date has kind of broken off here. And it's kind of due to Angela. She's just simply not finding what she wants. And they're kind of speculating about why this date broke off. Because apparently they're in a drive-in. And Angela just walked out. And Roger's saying, hey, I paid $2 to see this movie. I'm staying, so I'm not driving you home. Angela is leaving the drive-in. That's what's going on. And some people are asking, hey, there's Angela Burns, where's she going? And the other person mentioned that she had a date with Roger, and he probably came on too strong. And little goody two shoes, Angela pushed the panic button. Yeah, because it does look like Roger is trying to make his move on Angela, and Angela looks like she has a headache, and she's kind of crying. At this point, you figure Angela's kind of like has undiagnosed mental issues. And then we see that she's kind of reminiscing about her family and how basically she never really fit in with them. And she basically has kind of social issues here, where she just really doesn't fit in well with people and learning about new people. Her dad is excuse me. Her dad is concerned about her social status because Angela's doing well work-wise. She's a smart young woman. She's a good employee. She's moving up, so dad's not worried about the job, but the dad's kind of worried about the social life. Angela's kind of taking it in stride. So, she's upset about not finding the guy, but at the same time, she's like, she still has a positive mindset. And she's still working at school. Then, it turns out something here. It turns out that, Angela was looking to rent an apartment, but she's told that a neighbor's kid, they kind of cry a lot. So on one hand, I'm going to rent you this place, but I do have to warn you that there are kind of brats upstairs. And I think the landlord is trying to say is that if they bother you, just leave me alone. So he's kind of like, I think what happened, the landlord's mentioning that Johnny is in a bad situation with his wife. And so he's understanding. He says, listen, the kids cry a lot and they act out a lot, but I understand why they do it. And that he's saying that the husband is doing everything he can to keep the family together, but he kind of stretches them. Angela's fine with this. She understands the explanation. She hears the crying. And I think they mentioned something about the kids are babysat by a relative, but the relative basically beats them. Yeah. When Johnny's working 10 hours a day, the woman the neighbor who watches the kids, she's basically whacking them, with the Hot Wheels tracks. So anyway, Angela knows this. She's disgusted by this, but it goes on, and then for an instance, as she's getting groceries, she actually does meet up with Johnny, because as we mentioned, Johnny works long hours. So, not very opportune for them to meet, but they do meet here. The kids are talking about Angela because they apparently heard something. I don't know, they kind of get along here. Then Johnny's kind of a good-looking guy. Angela's a good-looking woman. They're both about the same age. Angela likes his kids, so she's offering to help out by getting some groceries. She thinks the kids are a little too thin, and that maybe that babysitter isn't feeding them as much as she should. So Angela brings some extra food. Johnny is very thankful for it. And one of the kids has this like 1950s like Aunt Bee hairdo. It's kind of funny. The kids like Angela. Johnny likes Angela. Johnny's explaining the situation that he was in the military and he got injured, and that him and his ex-wife didn't get along and they got divorced. And but Angela's taking a stride. She still sees Johnny is kind of a good catch. And it says that Johnny was just a victim of circumstances. He was very young, and he got married young and had kids young, and that kind of threw things off. But that Johnny's a decent guy, a victim of his circumstances. So anyway, Angela's still there. She likes being with Johnny. She likes taking care of the kids. She sees the babysitter, and the and Angela sees her laying down sleeping, and Angela's thinking the lazy slob. So it looks like they're clearly being neglected by this woman. I'm assuming that she's passed out from an alcoholic bender. She probably drinks herself unconscious, and when she's awake, she just basically, she'll either ignore the kids or hit them. And at most, Johnny can say, hey, I had an adult there. But now that Angela is sort of taking over, um, Angela's kind of doing the babysitting now. Angela's really enjoying it. We see some probably inappropriate here. You see the kids here being bathed. Uh, oh boy. Good thing these are, I mean, they're pictures, but still. Um, then we see Angela, and he's talking to Johnny, saying, you know, ever since you've been taking care of them, the kids have been behaving better. And, you know, Angela's proud of herself. She realizes that, yeah, the kids are getting better because of me. And, you know, I'm feeding them better. And then, Johnny and Angela, they're at the beach. And Johnny kind of makes a passing remark that you're the mom these kids should have had. However, Angela's kind of not kind of doesn't want to end this trajectory. She asks, she does ask Johnny, why'd you get married so young? And she says that the girl pressured her, pressed him. Johnny felt pressed by the girl. He was 15. She wanted to be the first one married in the class. So she kept pestering him over that. Then they did get married. He realized at the time that he wasn't cut out for it. But however, they had already had one child. And then they kind of stuck it out together. And then they had the second child. But they just found there was just like reconcilable differences. Johnny is kind of laying on the guilt here by saying, you know, if these kids see you walk away, they'll be devastated. However, she does ask, well, maybe I can be in their lives for this long. Then the two embrace. They want to get married. And, yeah. And then they decide to get married. You know what? I think this couple's going to work. Because Angela wanted a relationship, but she didn't want to date. So she kind of got the dating stuff out of the way. Angela is a woman who wants kids, but doesn't want to have them. So she already has these two built-in kids that she has a great relationship with, that she's proud of being with. They're young enough where they should accept her as the real mom. I mean, they'll know that, you know, she's not the biological mom, but they accept her as the biological mom. So yeah, I think these two are going to make it. Also, Johnny scored himself a hot chick, and and he might not necessarily have the lifestyle to get someone as hot as Angela, but he did well himself. Okay, so I'm going to go to the second story, and that is Only Make Believe. This one was, I thought, better drawn than the first one. I think the first one was by Capella, my favorite Italian artist. This is kind of drawn a bit sharper, kind of a 1940s style to it. It's by Andres and Kolek. So the people who did this, they put their name on it. And basically, it's one of those stories where the office wallflower, you know, blossoms into the beauty queen. The one thing I noticed about this story was how old the people were. I'm not sure whether those like 15-year-old girls from what 1973 would have thought, or 75 would have thought. Anyway, we see Belinda. She's the antagonist. She's being kissed by Josh, and everyone is impressed with how long and how passionate this kiss is between Melinda and Josh. One person mentions that This is probably the first time she's ever been kissed like that. So I guess she's someone who's known as someone who didn't date, might be known as socially awkward, even though people say, hey, you're kind of pretty out there. This is an old guy. He says, "It may be the last. Melinda's only reading the part because Grace Barrett couldn't make it tonight." You mean, oh, I get it. This is a theater group, and what's happening is that Josh and Belinda, they're actors in it, and the wife of Josh, who's also supposed to play this lead character, she couldn't make it. So Melinda is being the stand-in, and she's being kissed by this married man. There's an excuse for it, but they're saying, hey, once the wife's gonna take this role back. This is definitely a drama club that was really intense. And again, we see some artwork. Looks like 1940s style. Kind of looks like a lot like Steve Ditko. And you see the woman here, who's the Melinda, the main character. She's thinking she's just going to be a spinster, that she's going to be one of these women who are never going to be married. I know people like that. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I honestly, I think marriage is overrated. Anyway, we see her. She's concerned about being an old, lonely lady, and she takes comfort in books. And people are mentioning that they have a drama club, and they think kind of Melinda would be a good member. They know she's smart, and they also know that she kind of needs something to keep her social. So anyway, the drama club meets up. Trying to think what some of these guys look like. Yeah, it's gonna have to come. One of them looks like Gene Siskel. So anyway, Melinda is reading a romantic part, and she's the opposite of a guy named Josh, kind of a good-looking guy. People know that the two seem to have a lot of chemistry. But one of the friends, being kind of an asshole here, reminds her that maybe her destiny is to be a lonely woman, an old spinster. You fucking asshole. What are you doing sabotaging your friend like that? So we continue with the story. Melinda's there. She kind of has this sexy librarian look, but she still looks she looks a little older than her character should be. I think that's part of the transformation, is that you become younger. I think she likes a guy. She likes a guy named Richard, but Richard is kind of attracted to a younger, kind of Grace Slick-looking character who's much more outgoing. And it's kind of one of these things where Melinda is just as pretty as this girl, but the differences in style and swag are too much. She sees her competition kissing the guy that she likes. She feels bad that she was pining for this guy, but he never picked up on her signals. And she was kind of a little... it's understandable in those days. She would be kind of shy to approach him. One of the theater group guys invites her to a group activity. They're gonna go to the carousel. Kind of figure just hang out after work, kill some time. Melinda says she has a headache. And however, she kind of blames Richard, the guy who asked her, because Melinda's saying, why didn't you insist? Why didn't you demand that I go there? Why didn't you take me and grab me and drag me there? And I'm like, bitch, him asking you was good enough. So she's sort of like, she's sort of sabotaging herself here. And she's still complaining about, how she'll be like, a miserable old maid. Yeah, when you do stupid shit like this, that's going to happen. However, they do rehearsals. She's the understudy for a part, but the part requires kissing. So she's getting to kiss her male co-stars. And she's fine with this. She's like, hey, lay those lips on me. Yeah, because sometimes, not all actresses are open to that, particularly since this is like an amateur drama club. I'm guessing someone was actually a member of one of these clubs. They're kind of working out some of their issues. So anyway, I think the wife is understanding, saying that Melinda's really beautiful, behind that librarian look. They're worried that they're putting on a play, and they're worried that the main star won't be available. So they're asking Melinda, "Are you ready to step in? Because you might very well have to step in." And they offer to do a makeover for her, because if she's gonna do this role, they're gonna want her as glamorous as possible. So she goes through one of those like makeovers that you kind of see on TV. She instantly becomes like 20 years younger. So she looks like she just stepped off a college campus, where the other Melinda looked like she was like a 20-year veteran of the library. So Melinda's out happy. Some decent art, kind of old-fashioned art. Then we see that the new Melinda shows up. She sees her parents. Her parents are really impressed. They're saying, "Wow, you've never looked so young. You never looked so happy." And it turns out she's happy because she has the makeover, and she's happy she has this lead part. So she's all happy that her little drama club, her like 9-member drama club, that she's the queen bee. Doesn't matter if there's 9 people in it. She's the queen bee. So they're going through rehearsals. The rehearsals are going really well. Josh is saying that he really likes the love scenes, because we've established Melinda likes to kiss. She'll kiss any of her cohorts. Melinda's kind of taken aback. She didn't really expect to be complimented on this. She kind of just did it. However, she's delivering the lines to Josh, but she's thinking about Richard. Honestly, at this point, I kind of lost track of who she's dating at this point. Everyone loves Melinda's performance. They probably performed this to themselves in this one room. But nevertheless, they're sort of also actors, but they're also part of the audience. And they're like, congratulating each other. So she's like the undisputed queen bee of the drama club. Richard's there. Melinda kind of looks like Goldie Hawn. And Richard looks like kind of like Lyle Wagner a little, or Efren Ziplis Jr. So anyway, now Melinda wants to go to the carousel, and then they're going out on a date. I think Richard's saying that he kind of always liked her, but he felt that she wouldn't like him. And she's relating, hey, the reason why I didn't, reciprocate any romantic feelings was because I was shy, and I didn't really know how to handle it. So it's sort of like, on one hand, the two are getting closer and they're coming out, but they were sort of always attracted to each other. So Melinda's saying that her confidence has gone up. Richard's saying that I feel better about sending you these signals, and I always kind of liked you because you were a cute kid. Yeah, she looks like Goldie Hawn. Anyway, they're at the restaurant. This is really old-fashioned artwork here. Um, Richard is getting closer and closer to Melinda. Um, Richard, yeah, no, they're physically embracing, and they're also talking about the drama club. They're both members of the drama club. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, they're happy. So yeah, so acting. Yeah, I guess the story is like kind of acting brought out the best of them. Yeah. Okay, so before I get to the last story, I'm gonna take a look at Jennifer's corner. See what problems she was trying to solve. Okay, so the first one is from Worried, and she's 18. She's 18. Her boyfriend is 22. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. And they've been together for about 3 years. So, yeah, that's fine. And then he says that the boyfriend, she loves him, and she says that the boyfriend loves her back. So they kind of have this good relationship, and but however, she's worried that he's cheating, and she's saying that there's some signals he's sending she doesn't understand. Is boy leaves a girl, he will exercise self-control, he will not be set straight. Tell him that he expects. Okay, so yeah, so she's questioning this guy's loyalty, and yeah, and Jennifer kind of agrees that yeah, he's being a little suspect here, and that you kind of have to check him, and see where his loyalties lie. That's okay. Fine advice. We'll take the next letter. It's from No Name. She needs help really badly. She's 11 years old and very overweight. She's tried dieting, but she does gain it back. And she does love to eat. And she mentions that she's slow to anger. Oh yeah, she says she does a lot of emotional eating because it says that when she gets angry, she has the drive to eat. And she calls herself ugly, which is sad. She shouldn't do that. She's worried about her weight problems. Okay. So this is a really smart 11-year-old. This 11-year-old has a lot of awareness, and oh man, she has definitely an adult mindset. Jennifer is kind of straight with her, gives her kind of good advice, saying that you do have to show willpower. That's true. You do have to show willpower. And yeah, you need to stick with and no fad diets. And you should kind of check with the doctor or a medical advice, because diets were pretty dangerous. There were a lot of dangerous diets, and they tell people to avoid them. So she's giving good advice, and I hope this young woman did well. Okay, the next one is from Confused. She's 13 years old, and she likes two boys who are brothers. And then she found out that the one that she likes more is going out with another girl. And she doesn't really like the brother too much. So she's saying that, basically should she overlook the fact that the brother she likes is dating another girl. So she's saying, is being the other woman okay? That's what she's basically saying. The guy, Jennifer notes how confused she is. She's saying you like these boys, you like both these boys, but then you say you don't really like one that much, and you want to keep him as a friend. Yeah, she's kind of calling this girl out for kind of just being indecisive, and being inconsiderate. Um, so yeah, that was kind of funny, Art. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next story, and it's called Chubby. And this is the body positivity message from 1975. Um, the woman's name is Iris. That's an old lady's name. Although now it isn't anymore. And she's an attractive woman, but she's just slightly overweight. Honestly, she kind of looks pretty good here. She's kind of in that Anna Nicole Smith class, and then we see she has an office job. Um, she wow, this is a nice drawing of her because she looks every bit like the the hitchhiking chick in an R-rated film. Um, I think what's happening is. Oh yeah. What happens is she has the nickname Chubby. So even though this woman is in actually pretty good shape, she's known as Chubby, and she owns this name. So she's very accepting of this name. So when people actually call her Chubby, she takes that as you're just simply asking me for something. So she owns that title. She is an attractive woman. There's nothing chubby about her. However, the boss, kind of concerned about maybe a sexual harassment lawsuit, says, "I'm sorry for calling you that. It was wrong for me to, kind of objectify you." And he says that Chubby has a great figure, and just saying that you're just not as thin as the other girls. So basically, your proportions are fine, but yeah, you're just a slightly low. You're big boned. You're big boned. So anyway, guys are whispering about her. Um, one guy's just basically judging her on her weight. So even though she's an attractive woman with a proportioned figure, this guy she's fat. She's fat. I can't be with a fat chick. Um, but he's also saying I like the way she looks. So kind of signaling, hey, I would do that with her, but anything else, she calls herself Chubby, so I'm going to call her Chubby. Chubby is upset. She cries. She doesn't like this talk. She's concerned. She knows that she has a hard time making the sacrifices to get thin. And then she kind of has a flashback saying that she was always a little bigger than her friends, and she never felt she can get a boyfriend. So again, this is just a slightly over. This is not even an overweight woman. This is basically just a proportioned woman who just isn't thin. She liked this one guy. Oh, she's dreaming of this dream boyfriend. So she's never had a boyfriend because she's fat. It's total crap. This chick can score anywhere. So anyway, Chubby, she starts working out. She's doing the weights thing. She's checking her weight. She'd be upset that she'd only lose a pound. And it can kind of a little slow at first. Then she's working at her job, which I think is being a maid. If cam girls existed at this time, I would say she's a cam girl. But it looks like she's kind of a maid or a server. She's a server. She's like a waitress, I forgot. So she's all upset, all looking sexy, by the way. Chubby and the boss, they're talking about the party and the various foods that will be there. and the boss wants to make sure that Chubby won't be, basically just, eating herself full at this party. Actually, yeah, it's actually Chubby making those jokes, but the boss is saying, "Don't put you down. Don't put yourself down for being fat." And he gets a little, he gets touchy with her, and he just kisses her. So it turns out that yeah, the guy admits this is an emotional thing. He doesn't know whether he did the right thing or not because he can't tell from Chubby's reaction. But Chubby's happy. She is thrilled that this guy pulled a sexual harassment move on her. So turns out that Chubby is working on her diet. You know, she's turning down opportunities to go out for dinner or lunch with her coworkers. And it turns out Chubby feels dizzy. It looks like she's been losing a lot of weight, and we find out that it turns out she lost too much weight. So a guy called Barry picks her up and kind of takes her to the hospital. Um, and he's confused about why she's taking these extreme diets. She says it's because I'm fat. She's not. They're talking about the diets. Yeah, diets could actually be pretty dangerous back then. I think there was one company that put tapeworms in diet pills. And I mean, you'll lose weight, but also a whole lot more. So so Richard and Chubby, they're talking at lunch. She's talking about what she can eat on her diet. They're concerned about Richard and no, it looks like Barry and Chubby. They're talking about Chubby's weight, as if Richard actually has a real stake in this, and Richard feels that she's dieting too much, and it looks like Chubby's becoming a little obsessive with it. She's saying, "Hey, the more weight I lose, the more people like me." So I think Richard's concerned about that cycle. However, she still can't get a date. She asks Richard why. Um, Richard says that most guys are stupid. So they're too stupid to recognize how great a catch you are. That's what he's saying. Hey, you know what? Chubby looks pretty good here. So there's a private party, and Richard wants to take her. So he's saying, hey, you don't have to worry about not having a date. You have a date with me. And Chubby looks really nice. It looks like what's happening here? And catering. I honestly don't know what's going on at this point. There's some type of get together. You got these old like middle-aged women. They're kind of talking about Chubby. She's talking to some other guy. Honestly, I have no idea what happened. Okay, so this private dinner is kind of going well, at least from Richard's point of view. I think the others are gossiping. So like Richard and Chubby are sensing. Particularly Chubby is sensing that the others don't like her. So they're figuring that maybe Richard is settling for a Chubby chick. But we keep emphasizing, the story is trying to emphasize that Chubby chicks are fine. And the thing is, I'm looking at this and I'm saying she's not chubby. So anyway, so they're concerned about the office gossip. And it looks like Chubby is going to get married to Richard. Barry. Yeah, or Barry. I forget which one is which. It doesn't really matter. So anyway, there's nothing, the story's kind of ending here with Barry and Chubby. Chubby no longer chubby, just slightly chubby. pleasantly plump. That's what Barry calls her. Um, he's getting really touchy. He's touching he's touching the center. He's saying, this is where I really want that weight. Show me a little dolly here. Um, Chubby's very happy. She has the man of her dreams who isn't judging her for, how much she weighs, but how good she looks. And yeah, they're going to make it. They're going to be fine. They got the best versions of what they wanted. And that's it. And that's my walkthrough of Secret Romance issue number 32 from 1975. And I hope to have more reviews up soon. Bye.